Good evening, everyone. Ponderers. I love that. Ponderers. I think that's a great hashtag. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. So I'm here, Kathy's here, and we have a
Hi,
friend,
everybody.
Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Roxanne. Hi, Ponderers.
And we're so excited that you're here because you're going to share with us some information about the set. So when Alex was on, I'm not sure, Linda, if you saw that, but we had Alex Hook on, and she did tell us a little bit about the set. Like the pond is a real pond; it's in a real area. And then she said all the interior stuff is in a warehouse that they recreated. And but you're going to tell us, like, you literally walked through, was able to take pictures, which is very exciting. And before we get started, I also want to, if we hear any noises, Linda's not alone. She has some puppies with her.
Yes, behind the closed doors.
And is that why they're crying? Because they want
Yes,
to
they're
get
looking
you?
at me. I just got home from work, so they're
Oh.
looking at me thinking, why am I in here and you're in there?
Aw.
I'm in my sunroom.
One of them is not Finn, just to make that clear.
No, but one is a border collie and one is an Australian shepherd, both
Oh,
farm
wow.
dogs. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. So everyone's saying hi. Everyone's saying hello on the little
Hello.
chat. So before we get started, Linda, I don't know what device you're on, but if you go up into the right-hand section, you'll see a box that says comments. And if you click it, then you can see everyone's comments. And then there's a box that says private chat. And that's if you want to tell us something, it doesn't get broadcasted.
Okay, thank you.
I'd be careful with that one because, I've been known to type the wrong thing in the wrong box and it never turns out well. So unless it's an emergency, I'd stay away from that.
People want you to let your dogs out. Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out? Yeah. Well, they're looking at me and they're nice and quiet right now.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Linda. How'd you get hooked onto the show? Or have you always been a Hallmark fan?
I have. My weekend, my Saturday night, my Sunday is romance, right? I go to the movies in my chair with my dogs in my lap, and I've always been a Hallmark fan.
So have I. Do you have a favorite? Did you have a favorite series before this one came on? Did you watch When Calls the Heart or Chesapeake Shores or The Good Witch or what was the one that Dell was in originally a while back?
Cove, something about Cove.
Yeah, Cedar Cove. Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of series.
Wow.
I'll wait for them all to come on.
Right.
And then maybe somebody will say, oh, what's a good one? And I'll say, oh, this. And then I'll watch something like that. But I don't get into watching series. But it had me hooked right from the first one.
How did you get into The Way Home?
I knew that they were filming last year.
Okay.
And I worked during the day, so I couldn't be around for that. So odd time, I would go in and I'd see the set and it was still there. And they would, the town of Scugog lets us know when they will be filming. So that, and they'll say, we'll be open.
Town. We're losing you. You're all glitchy. Uh-oh.
I love Hallmark films that are filmed in Port Perry. There are a lot of
them. You glitched out a little bit. So they use the area. Now, Port Perry, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. Port Perry is an actual place?
Yes, it is. It's called Port Perry, Ontario.
Okay. And then, but the area, well, I know you were telling me it's not just that they've been hopping around to other parts too, to make it's Haven, correct? Is that's
correct? So the Port Haven Cafe is in downtown Port Perry. The main street. It's like an old Victorian street. It's a beautiful area. and it's a lake. It's on Lake Scugog. So there's a marina there. You probably saw boats. There's a big park called Palmer Park.
Now,
And it's a beautiful area. A lot of people come from all over Ontario just to go to the shops and to go into the park and walk around.
now, when you get these notifications, do you ever get like, do they tell you exactly what it is? Do they tell you it's a Hallmark movie or who the production company is?
Yes, they always do.
And
So,
do they ask ever for extras?
I believe they did. They did ask for extras, but I work full time, so
I know. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up the I'm going to add to the stream. Yes, yes, people, I know what that is. Don't close your eyes if you don't want to get dizzy. I'm starting from here. So these are pictures that you took yourself. So you're
yes,
actually walking around and this is all right there, which is so
yes.
cool. And is this the cafe that you were talking about?
Yes, that's the cafe. Now it's odd that when Alex said it's a warehouse inside.
No, Alex said that the interiors that they shoot are in a warehouse.
In a warehouse, which when I watch the episode, I'm looking, we're inside, but I'm looking out through the windows, and I can see the actual store that's across the street that is. So it's odd, like how they
recreate it
with the outside.
So
looking in.
So, okay. So if you walk inside this, that's really good. You walk inside of this cafe, the real cafe.
Well, it is not a cafe.
Okay.
This was an old mill. So it's just empty inside.
Okay.
As you see it on the show, it's as big as that. So, and it looks like that. But then when Alex said that it's a warehouse at another location, it kind of puzzled you.
They recreate the set in a big old warehouse-like facility.
So I think it's cool though, because Linda, what you're saying is if you were inside this building and you looked out the window, what you would see is actually what you also see when we're watching it on TV.
Correct.
That's why, I mean, if you saw, like in my database that I have access to, they, more than any other show, suddenly dumped everything in and listed all the jobs that you can imagine. I think you've heard me say this before on here. And there are so many people that take care of the set. There are so many set decorators. There are the set decorators with different titles and assistants. I mean, it's this massive team. I've reached out to as many of them as I possibly can, and I would love to have them on to give us more details. But it makes sense now because they really went all out with the details on this. If what you're saying, you know, I believe what you're saying is true, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's look at this. What do we have here?
Is that exterior? That is Monica's Diner?
Yes.
We were just looking at, okay.
Yes, that's correct. And down the side is where the Lobster Social was.
Down the side.
I'm pointing to it, but you can't actually see me. See where the sign on the front is?
Right here.
To the right, all the way down the right to the red building.
Right.
That's where all the Lobster Social was outside.
Where they filmed it, like they set it up with that whole. Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking, do you remember there was a couple that was sitting there eating, and Crazy Rita was going and taking the food out of their hands, which I'm wondering if they were extras or if they were like local extras. That would have been cool.
Well, it's not an actual restaurant, so I would imagine it would have been extras, but I have never. Port Perry is not, you run into the same person twice. It's one of those kind of towns where, you know, I was from Toronto. I'd never see the same person after that time. So I don't know. It's
All right.
interesting.
What do we have here? What's this next? It says it was in episode 2. So what is
Yes.
it?
So that's where Alice is down at the park talking, and then she runs up the stairs to go to the Herald to
Yes.
talk to Byron. So she ran up those stairs, and there is an office there. So I'm not sure whether she went up to that office or whether that's another take at the warehouse in another set. But she did use those steps to go up.
What is this building?
Where the Garland is, it's
Right here.
it has cottage things. It has old pictures. It has decorations. It's very very unique store.
Okay, so it's like a boutique-y kind of.
Yes, very
little shop.
boutique-y. Yes.
And now, how long, when they were filming, how long were they actually there? I mean, I know we have like a time frame, but
Yep. They came at August 15th. The
Right.
filming dates were August 15th, and they left December 9th.
Wow.
Now, both of these pictures are
Mhm.
Port Perry, but then when we get over to the Roxy, that's another area.
Oh, okay. So they are hopping around. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you had said that was for episode 3. And then you had said that this park was what they used for the social, right? That entranceway.
That's right. They were on the opposite side. It was all set up down there, and then you could see it as you're looking past them.
And what do they do? Do they like mark off the streets? Have like extra security? How do they work that so there isn't interference?
They like the street is they would just put barriers so that they're not coming all the way up, but
Right.
it is open to the businesses on the street. But there is a lot of parking all over, so and they give good timing.
What do you think the population is of that area? This area here?
Well, it's pretty big. It's considered Scugog, so all in all, like they're little subdivisions.
Right.
Even where I live is a subdivision of this location, and I
Okay.
think the town of Scugog is 22,000.
Oh, okay. Way bigger than I had thought it was. Because in this, like the impression I get of the show, it's supposed to be like a small little fishing town.
Well, this Port Perry is small, and there are houses there, but there are, it kind of goes out into the country as well. Like it's all.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's actually quite beautiful there. All right. So this is the Roxy, right?
Yes. And it's located in Uxbridge, Ontario.
And how far away is that?
That would be 29 minutes from where that was. So very close, all in all.
Now they run regular movies, right?
They do. They run regular movies.
Did you go see a movie? Didn't you say you went there and went?
I did. I saw Living.
What's that?
With Bill Nighy. Have you seen Love Actually?
Yes.
The rock star. He was the rock star. And it was a fabulous movie. Completely different for his character.
Cool. All right. And now I love the old timiness of it. And isn't it so like wild that you remember when there's poor Elliot, he had to go work a shift and you see Nick with
Alice.
Yes, and then Nick is back there talking to Elliot because they're talking about how mean Brady is, and I don't know. I think that's cool. It's like surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when Alice came up to the counter at that far end.
Right.
And then Kat was just at that other corner peeping around. And when I went in there, it was just so cool. It was just nice.
It looks narrow. Is it narrow?
It is narrow. Yeah, it's pretty pretty narrow. But everything is the exact same. The only difference I found was the posters on the wall where the clock is.
Yes.
I think that would have been like now. So they put that black curtain with lights.
Oh, and that makes sense. And then they
Yeah.
marked it off. Okay.
They marked that off. But everything is pretty much the same.
Okay, so now we have the house. So you said this was located where?
Well, if it's the same house that is used in Anne with an E,
Mm-hmm.
that was Pickering. So again, Durham region, probably 45 minutes.
Now I'm going to switch back. I'm going to show the house. This is Anne with an E, and we already scoped it out, Kathy and I, and it is the same house.
Definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, and it's funny because this is Anne of Green Gables, so I would think it would be more gable-ish. Like that looks more like it would be an Anne house to me. I mean, the color's a little off, but then again, we were saying that it may not be blue. They could very easily, with cinematography and all that, change it to look that blue.
For sure.
Yeah,
because you look at it and it's quite stunningly blue.
it is.
Seriously.
Now, then again, Kay, by the way, this is from one of our members. Kay did like a montage. She's of pictures. It was a collage rather of pictures. And you can always tweak it to make it more blue. But even in the show, it kind of is very blue. Everything is very blue. Even the interior is very blue.
That's why I wore blue.
Oh, look at that. That's so cool. All right. And then there's this here. So we have some questions here that people have been asking, and I know you've done some research. Let's see. Oh, Arlene was asking that question. You see it? It says, I wonder if Linda was an extra in the White House.
No, I was not an extra. I work full time, so I wasn't around when they were filming. It would have been nice though.
Yes, it would have. And this here is, she was wondering about the ghost road, and you shared that video with me and we watched it. Do you want to like fill people in on this?
Well, it was a long time ago. And from what I hear, it's about 7 minutes from where the cafe is, and it's an island, but it's not really an island, but it juts out into the water, and there's only one way on and one way off. And apparently there was a boy that was riding his motorcycle, and he wanted to really push it. So he pushed it, and he
Oh,
Darn
and
it.
then he hit a rock.
so wait a minute, you glitched out at that one point. So he was trying to push what?
Trying to gun the motor as much as possible. I think that's where she was headed.
Okay, and he hit a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, as we're trying to talk about this, she freezes. Ooh,
Motorcycle. That's right. And he crushed the motorcycle, and it took his head off. So they say at night, when you're going down this road, some people have seen the light on the motorcycle.
And his head was taken off because we couldn't hear you on that part because of that fence that was there, right? That wiry type fence.
That's right.
Yeah.
He hit the fence, and then yeah, they have like a rock that
they dedicated or mentioned. Yeah.
Exactly.
His name wasn't Jacob, was it?
Pardon me?
His name wasn't Jacob, was it?
No. I don't think they ever even listed a name.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Quite
Now,
interesting.
It is. I mean, that's kind of like spooky. I read an article where there was a guy and his wife that went out to investigate it, and they stayed out there. It was cold, the whole thing, and they really said they saw or heard nothing, but that was just them. And there's all kinds of theories as to why, but they were really hoping you saw it.
No, you know what? I wouldn't be going down that road at midnight to even look.
It's so dark. There's nothing out there. And I'm like,
That's right.
And the person that was sharing the video, I can link it and I'll link what you gave me in the description. So when this posts, people can access it and watch it. And he was saying that, or read it, because there's two things you gave me, that when they finally turned the lights on, something was like scattered, like
Scampering.
yes, like
Yes.
across the road. I'm like, what? No, 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 no. I'm afraid of the things that are alive that are there.
That's
Oh,
right.
Arlene said, did they film at the local high school?
You know, there is a high school, Port Perry High School, but I haven't had a chance to go and take a look at the front. I know the high school, the front of it in the way home was quite elaborate. It was a beautiful front to it. So I'm not quite sure whether they did.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know I don't know. It's just so fascinating and interesting when you know it's really there and they walked around.
right.
Like, you know,
right.
it's just so cool. People are saying hello and thank you. And wonder where the secret pond is. Do you know where it is, Linda? Because I do think
I don't, but I would imagine that it would be near this house.
yes, because Alex talked about it when she was on. She mentioned that, Robert, that you're here. When I had Alex, if you haven't seen Alex's video, Alex's chat, you have to go back through the all the podcasts, and she shares information about that. I mean, we talk about that pond and jumping in that gross pond.
That's right. That's right. It looked quite secluded as well.
Yeah. And Brian, it does, right? Especially when they do that eerie music and they're above, like doing that aerial view, and you could see the pond. It's
right.
not that small when you look at it from above. It's kind of on the big side. Brian, I'm sorry.
Did you notice the last time that Kat jumped in the pool? Her left foot kind of went weird. You have to take a look at that. It was almost like it kind of turned.
Like she slipped maybe on the rock?
No, it was like when she was up in the air coming down, this foot went like this, almost like it was a filmed.
Yeah, it looked like either it was a stunt double or it was an insert.
Insert.
Yes. Okay. So a lot of times it's not always, it's not her. There are stunt doubles that go in for both of the women that jump in. So it's not them. They're in it too, like either popping out or whatever, but they definitely do have stunt doubles. Brian said, and with an E, yes. Do they use these locations for filming often? They do, as you were saying, Linda. What was it? I don't know if we mentioned this or we're repeating ourselves here because I forget what we say in the studio or not. What are they filming right now?
They're filming Thanksgiving.
And it's a horror, isn't it?
It's a horror. It is.
Yeah. It's not Hallmark either.
No. But they've lots of Hallmark, lots of romantic Hallmark movies.
So this is why you're so addicted to them.
That's right.
This is a funny, before we say thank you and good night. This is a funny. This is Kay. She says, if the pond freezes over, that would delay time travel until the thaw.
That's for sure.
And I thought about that. You know how they've gotten to the point where time can jump forward. And I was thinking about Alice or Kat. If they go to 1999 and then come back and time has moved forward and there's ice over the pond and they're like trying to get out. But I would imagine Elliot knows that would happen. So he'd be there to ship them out.
He doesn't always know when they're coming, though. The last time there was this note on a piece of paper that
where are you? Yeah, you're right.
Where are you? And I remember, because we're all here now, so we know this. It looks like in the previews when when Alice, she comes out of, I guess she comes out and then she looks at the rock, she's touching it, there's snow on it. So she has moved, even further on. Oh goodness. Deb
Well,
saying
it was at
she
New
noticed,
Year's Eve, so it's still winter.
yes. She said Deb noticed the foot too.
The foot. It was almost like a cut and paste.
Yeah.
Yes, a poor one. Oh, people are just saying hi, that kind of
Hi.
thing. Oh, all right. This was so much fun. Thank you for sharing all those lovely pictures. I'm going to go back to all of us so we can see us. And you'll have to.
If Roxanne and I do a road trip up there, you're gonna, let us sleep on your couch and
Definitely.
and
Definitely.
easy chair.
There's a lot of good bistros and cafes we can hit.
Hey, you had me at that shop that has all the
Cool
old
stuff.
antiques and knickknacks. I could spend a month at a place like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Every time we're on, we talk about this road trip we're going to take, and it's just so extensive, and we keep adding people as we're going along the way. What I find is when the road trip's over, the podcast is going to be split. No one's going to talk to anyone.
Well, you could come next summer when they film again.
Oh, winter was not even in play for that one. It would definitely be summer if it happens.
Goodness gracious. No. I have to teach anyway. I'll be snowed in. Everyone's telling you thank you. Kay saying thank you. Linda, Greg saying thank you for sharing your pictures. Now there's Adventures with Lily. Oh my, we should wait a minute. Where is this Adventures with Lily? Lily, where are you? It says, oh my, we should do a road trip for sure. We keep saying this. Deb Johnson, we're going to pick Deb up. First, I have to get my Chris and Christina. I have to get them from Ohio. And then Jan, who lives here, and Kathy, who lives here. Not this Kathy. And then we're going to make our way over. We're picking up Lillian. She's in New York. Yes. And we're heading over. I mean, we're just going to pick up people as we go along the way.
And we have a lot of wineries and breweries.
Ooh. And no one is speaking to each other by the time the tour is over and we're ready to come back home.
I don't know. I think it would be such a great adventure. You don't know. I want to plan this terribly. Adventures with Lily. I don't mean to be rude when I say this. I don't remember you being on before. So hello and welcome. And yes, I guess maybe Lily takes big adventures. Who knows? Oh, goodness. All right. Mystery question. Let's see. What's this? Is why isn't telling Del truth about what happened to, oh, wait a minute, Robert, I'm taking you off. I'm going to star that. We're going to talk about that in a few. All right. Because we have to be careful only because Linda has not seen the next episode. So I promise that we'll throw her out and she can go watch it.
Sure.
Thanks so much for
Yes.
taking the time to spend with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. We're excited that you joined us. Thank you for sharing us all your knowledge and taking us on a little tour. All right. You just got back from work too, so you probably want to go unwind and have some dinner and take care of your puppies.
And tell the pups we said thank you for sharing.
Puppies. What are your puppies' names?
Peanut and Blaze.
Ooh.
Oh, Peanut and Blaze. Oh, yes. Robert, you don't have to be sorry. You got excited. That's okay. He's like, sorry, no biggie. All right. Thank you, Linda. You have a good night.
Thank you. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Take care.
Good night.
Hey, Roxanne, I've got a question.
Yes.
I want to share.
All right.
Okay. This is from our erstwhile friend, Brian, who says, so when will we see the 1999 Roxanne and Kathy?
Oh, Brian, you're so good. We could do that.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil the illusion. I will just suffice to say I was stunning. Roxanne really was stunning. But
was is the word. No. Okay, 1999.
Wait a minute. We'll have to do that one day as not a contest, not a game really, but just have everybody share pictures of what they were like in 1999. Maybe that's something to do on the page. That would
Yes.
be fun.
That is so true. Okay, so we could talk a little bit about the page before we start our recap and whatnot. And so, why this is the chance for people to go use the bathroom, go get a drink, do whatever you need. This is what I tell my students when we shift and we transition. And all 900 of them want to stuff themselves into the bathroom, although they can go whenever they want. Okay, so while that's happening, let's talk a little bit about the fan page. So, if you don't know, we have a fan page, and the fan page is called the Way Home fan page.
How creative for us.
I know. And we have right now, the last time I checked, 2.1K. It blew up overnight, 2.1K peeps on. And we had a little hiccup because a lot of the people didn't know how to do spoiler alerts. I want to say Kay and Christina and people that are on all of the Hallmark fan pages. I didn't even have to say anything to them. They were already putting little spoiler alerts up when there was new episode information. And we do that because everybody sees something differently. There are parts of Canada that are one episode behind us. There are even parts of in the US where Kathy and I, we get the episode on a Sunday night. Others don't get it till Monday or Wednesday. So we're just trying to, be kind to those. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is that we had an issue that I never had before. And the issue was people putting up their theories or their posts, people commenting, and then they would shut the comments off because I guess they didn't want to see the comments anymore, or they would be upset and they'd take their post down. And when you do that, it wreaks havoc with Facebook. They can shut down your page. So I put a thing up that says, when you post, just post. Not everybody's going to agree with you as long as we're using kind words. And Kathy and I can't see everything. So if somebody has something up that shouldn't be, like trying to sell a Game Boy or whatever it was that was being sold, or someone was advertising or they were rude, you just hit report. And then someone said to me, "Oh, well, then that's I can't even think of my words. That's subjective." It's not, because she and I are in charge and we'll decide if it should be removed or not. So it doesn't report you. No one's going to pick on you. It's nothing like that. We're all adults. So anyway, I'm just saying these are just some little housekeeping things. Kathy, did you want to add to
I
that?
just want to clarify something for anyone who isn't. This may be the first series you've gotten hooked on, and or the first time you've been this engaged in a fan page. And just to simplify things, a spoiler is sharing anything that has happened on the show. If you're going to talk about anything that has happened on an episode, we appreciate the spoiler alert, and then put a few spaces before you start typing. If you're talking about your theories, your predictions, your speculations, your questions, those aren't spoilers. Those are coming out of your brain. You don't need spoiler alerts. So we wanted to be sure and just clarify, you don't need to put spoiler alerts on everything. If it's just, you're talking about it and thinking about it and questioning it, we don't need spoilers. Only when you're talking about information or stuff that has actually happened and aired in an episode. Okay.
Very good. Boys and girls, you've all been schooled now.
And I'm not even a teacher.
I know. You don't need to be schooled you don't need to be a teacher to school someone. Okay. I think I'm too confused to try to guess what is going to happen next. Okay, these are all these people. Okay. And
Welcome
they're saying
to our world.
Where they live and about Finn and all that. Oh, did you notice for the dessert, I did the puppy chow, and then someone thought it was for dogs, but I couldn't because I had chocolate. I'm like, no, it's human. But it's also known as a muddy buddy. And I love, this is what gave me the idea. I remember Dell saying she can never keep the dog out of the pond, so the dog would have been all muddy. And I thought, oh, it's his muddy buddy, puppy chow kind of thing. And I thought it would be a great snack. And for those of you that didn't feel like making it, you can buy it at Target for like a couple bucks in a bag and have that snack. Okay, so let's dive into the pond and let's talk about everything. This was a different episode. Like, Kathy, what were you saying about that?
I was telling Roxanne earlier, I'm really big on I'd rather see something character driven than plot
Mhm.
driven.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And then episode 7, I actually expected more plot driven because we're so close to the end. And instead we got character. And I didn't really mind it that much because I found myself, really looking at these folks and where are they now. I could be totally wrong on this, but I just think something is shady with Byron. I can't get rid of that. Seeing teen Monica was driving me up the wall. She was totally not sympathetic to Kat when she was having her panic attack.
No, she said
Um,
she's just doing it for
because of
attention.
attention. I absolutely, at first I was like, oh, Elliot, what are you doing? Just kiss her. But I actually love the way he handled that. It's like, you had that coming. The viewers didn't, but Kat
No, we didn't.
we deserved a kiss, but
And
I'm
he's got that little
confident it's going to happen. Yeah, but the look on her face, and I love that she was the one that brought up. There's this thing here.
feelings. You feel it.
There's feelings going on here.
Mhm.
And then there's something else, and someone, forgive me, someone on the page brought this up, and I had been thinking about it, but they put it much more eloquently than I did.
Mhm.
Sometimes Alice dives in head first.
Mhm.
Sometimes she dives in feet first. And I'm wondering if that has any meaning. And now the person who posted this speculated that the way she dives in could affect how far forward or how far back she goes in time. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting that they made a point of having her jump in feet first. Or was that Kat? At the very end of the episode, did she jump in? Or am I episode behind?
No, that was last time.
Yes,
That was
okay.
last time.
So, they've got now 3 episodes, and we know that they've been renewed. I don't think that would materially change their plans for the way they end this first season. They probably knew after the 2nd episode this was going to be a hit.
Right.
So I just can't stop thinking. I think it was Alex who said, when we get to the end of this season, our jaws are going to drop.
Yes.
And I can't wait to get there. And I can't wait for next week. And we're going to see Nick. And, they'll probably drag out his encounter with Alice.
Right.
He'll probably think she's Alice's daughter, his Alice's daughter. So we'll just see. I just can't wait till episode 10, and then we'll be spending the summer going, when is it going to start again?
I know. There are a lot of people. Let's go touch back on with Byron here.
Mhm.
They saying, is there more to Byron's explanation of the cane and the upset shelves that he is telling? And I was saying to Kathy, so you got this prop with this cane. It's either he really got hurt in real life and they had to figure out how to put the cane story in, or there's way more to him. And he's been there only 6 years. So he could be from the past and he's come into, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's more of a story there. And then he wants all his papers and everything back, and he fires Kat. And I think she was getting too close to something that was making him uneasy. And people are like, there has to be an antagonist. Well, sometimes, so when you have conflict, it's character versus character versus self, character versus nature, or maybe like character versus society law, someone else is in charge. So nature can be an antagonist. It doesn't always have to be a person. And it could be the whole pond, and that they have this thing that they can't control to travel back and forth. But I always think that even if that is it, there's still characters that don't have to be super antagonist evil that cause problems along the way, like Monica and her selfishness and a little bit underhanded so far, and Byron. I don't know how seedy or sinister they have to be, but I wouldn't be surprised. Would you, if it were either Byron or Monica or both in some way?
I think something is going on there. And again, I'm not saying he's evil. Now, every time I think of that, I think of what is Austin Powers with Dr. Evil. And I forgot to mention, I also was not at all happy with Spencer. because he's supposed to still have a girlfriend, and yet he invites her out for dinner under the guise of, well, you have to eat, and but he takes her to, after the restaurant is closed, dim lights and the dinner. I didn't like that. I thought it was out of character if he's supposed to be a good guy.
I know, but he's a young, dumb teenager.
I know, and yeah, she went right along with it. She was being all flirty. I just, that rubbed me the wrong way, that whole scene.
So they still, and I understand because she's young, they still keep going with the storyline with Nick. And I can't help it but think that, like, the young storyline of her going in the past, and every time she sees him, he wants more. He wants a better. He's so cute. He wants a more of a relationship with her, and oh, this is a sidebar. So they've done a lot of kissing and whatnot, right? And I love it because they have an intimacy coordinator. And I saw that. I was like, whoa, that's never been listed on anything before.
How much do you want to bet that there's going to be a scene, or maybe an extension of the conversation next week with Elle and Nick, where he says, after he says, well, you've been in love with Cat Landry all this time. And Elle says something like, well, you haven't managed to make a relationship stick. And Nick tells Elle about this one girl who was the one who just disappeared,
Right.
He thought it was real, and she just disappeared on him.
Right.
I can't even, my mind can just not wrap around how they're going to address that.
Fix that.
Yeah.
I can't help tell you that somehow I wish that young Nick can still be young for her. Do you know what I mean? Like, somehow, some way. So there's just, it's not going away. So we're going to get more of it somehow. I'm not quite sure where they're going to go with that. You and I have been crazed about that storyline all along. Let's see. I'm going to see what people are saying before we go. I know they're talking about the number of episodes that are left, and we will get there. These are people that Mary, she's just agreeing with the whole Byron thing. I think many of us are
something is off.
Yeah. And then Margie's saying the same thing about Byron. I don't know if anyone was mentioning what we were about Nick. No. There's so many things going on here. Okay. So again, we get to meet the new Nick, the older Nick. He'll be on. It's Kerry James. I did hop on that, and his and I know who his agent is, and she's out of the office, and she's very hands-on-y. She's like, I'm out, I'll be back. So I'm like, okay, well, I would like to have him on. I asked like a couple weeks back, get him on. We want him on, please. And he's got a new book that he did, a photography book. So I'm sure he would love to tell us about that too, besides, what it's like being the adult Nick. What were we going to say, Kathy?
I was going to say, I will not, under any circumstances, I don't care what evidence you put before my eyes,
Yes.
I'll never accept the fact that Colton, aka Grandpa Hunky, is cheating on Dell.
Yes, and that's what everyone said.
Not going to happen. No way, no how.
No, and I agree. I do. I think that even just character-wise, and they're very good with developing their characters and staying true to their character. The man looks worn out, and he does not even have a brain that would even think of, oh, let me go have an affair. And
especially now, after they've just lost their son. Yeah, no. Some people speculated that the person he's going to meet, if it is indeed a woman, was actually adult Cat trying to help him, get through it. Why wouldn't Alice tell Colton when she had that scene with him, and he said, thank you for looking out for her? Why wouldn't she tell him, you know what? You guys need to really show her some love, because she's feeling like you blame her for this. That just seems like an awfully important item to just ignore. What do you think?
No, I do too. And I'm wondering if, because it's kind of like bold, and she's already when the last time she was kind of there, they kind of threw her out, like, you're not family, you don't belong here. Brady couldn't wait to add to that, like, Brady, you don't belong there either. Right. And they lashed out at her, like, why are you here, kind of thing. Even Elliot said to her, "It's just family, don't go." He tried to dissuade. So,
Damn
I
family.
think she was afraid
Mhm.
maybe she would misstep. I'm not sure. And Colton, I think, is still trying to find answers to his son.
Yep.
I have a whole bunch of theories. In the beginning of the season, I thought that Colton's accident may have been related to him, maybe for money reasons. He helped because he's got the boat. There's fishermen there. He helped launder something or something unsavory or illegal, and that caused the whole crash or whatever. Um, People are saying, and I think that could be true too now, is that he sees Jacob, which causes him to be distracted and have an accident. I mean, he falls asleep, he's so exhausted. There's like so many different theories, but I truly do not think that he was spending all of his money on um a woman. And maybe someone was telling him, I need information or I know something and where your son is, and that's what he, or private detective, who knows? But I really do think it has to do with the disappearance of his son. Yeah.
So if Jacob went through the pond, no, not, let's say he was missing, but he shows up in a present day, how old would he be?
Oh, we just figured this out, my friend Susie. He would be 30 something. He
Okay.
was 9. It was 1999. So 23 plus 9. So he would be in his
Early
early.
30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to keep looking for clues if anyone shows up in town who's a photography buff, because that's probably going to be a big clue
Right.
as to who
Right.
Jacob, really is.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So, getting back before we go, I know we're talking about Caleb and we're talking about Dell's relationship, and there's that piece of paper with the MS on it. Like, who is that? What's MS? Um, it could be a million and one things. I really, like we said, don't think it's a woman. And I know Dell in the preview says she saw him with a woman. Kat goes back, and it could very well be Kat
Yep, that's
that
what
he
she.
has a conversation with.
Mm-hmm.
He might even think that Kat is Alice's mom, like she introduced herself, and she really is, you know what I mean? So it could be something like that. My daughter told me about the disappearance of your son. It could be anything like that where she reaches out to help him. Not that it's anything else. And the only thing is that if he saw her, I'm hoping that it's from the back and not the front, because she would now know that that was her daughter in present time, after she starts thinking about it. I know there's this whole confusing whatever. There are so many cool things that people are saying. I don't mean to overlook. Before I forget, there's someone talking about the blue sunglasses, and I will just keep that to the side. So going back, someone was talking about was about his bracelet. Nick's bracelet will be a key in the Nick Alice reunion. It's a fish hook because you hooked me. I'm really wondering if she's wearing that when she meets the 2023 Nick. And in not in the previews, but in the write up, it says when she runs into an old friend, she knows that it cannot go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's going to, see him. He's finally in town. He's hanging out with Elliot at the bar. I really do hope he says something like you said. That would be good, Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one here that I love, Kay. When the carnival comes back to town, I believe we will learn more about Jacob. I
Wow.
mean, how cool would it be? The carnival comes back to town and they're panning around looking at all the rides, and they get to the Ferris wheel and you see that somebody is working it, and he looks up and it's a young fellow, maybe in his early 30s, and we learn that, well, we probably won't learn it right off, but it turns out that's Jacob, and he's been working with the carnival. I don't know, I just think that could, I think for sure the carnival's going to have a big role in solving the mystery. I think it'd be cool if he has been working with them all this time.
Okay. Now, Deb's saying, I think that he bought the motel and spent all of his money on that. And that would explain why Dell said that they were broke.
I don't think he'd have the money to buy a motel.
Well, it didn't look like it was. Well, we're looking at it in the old, like, as an old place. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Jan is saying perhaps Colton went to that motel because he was told by someone who had information on Jacob's whereabouts. Yes, that was my thinking. And I feel like that's Kat. Like Kat can't let it go. And she goes and talks to him, like I was saying, as if, she's Alice's mom. Let's see about the other woman. Okay. Robert. What's Robert saying? Brady reason Jacob vanishes. And who the Jacob 2023 is, I gotta guess. Okay, so
Brady, you think Brady is the reason Jacob disappeared?
Yes. And then who is going to be Jacob in 2023? Like, I wonder who the actor, they're keeping that closed. They might not even know yet, because those casting directors, they really put a lot of effort into what they were looking for. And they did a phenomenal job. So maybe they're, playing around with that still. I mean, that's for season 2. Yes. Older Nick could fill in the gaps we were all pondering. Yeah.
At least some of them.
Was Nick married, then divorced? Maybe he has a son who looks just like his dad. Maybe, but we don't know that.
It's icky, if not ickier, though.
I don't think Nick ever was.
Yeah, he's divorced. Remember, Elliot stood up for him at his wedding.
No, it's the other way around. He stood up.
Oh, he stood up for Elliot. Oh, yeah.
I don't know that Nick ever got married.
No.
I don't know. We don't know. Now, this is true. The return of the carnival to Port Haven will result in Jacob being found. Was Jacob kidnapped by a carnival worker? I don't know. He makes it back to I don't know. I don't know. That part is just so, like, I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Did anybody catch, this is just a fun little fact, that Spilsky was at the millennial party that they had? He was like sort of off to the back, and Monica says something about Spilsky, and she calls out to him. We never really didn't get to see him. Didn't like the unfocused view of Spilsky and the Y2 look. Yes, I know. And I wonder why. I mean, he is a real actor. Yeah.
Maybe because he's going to play a more prominent role in a future episode.
Maybe. Yeah. And yeah, we never saw Elliot's ex-wife. This is true. Chris, what is she saying? In 1999, there was a man in a hoodie and full beard. Yep. Helping people on and off the Ferris wheel. You are correct. People have talked about that. Then in 2023, the guy that talked at the meeting about bringing back the carnival had a full beard too.
Does everybody know about the pond?
No, Monica was worried about her carpet with Spilsky. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Listen.
I think they ought to just do a 3-hour movie.
People
and get it out of the way.
So people are like, it's getting to the end, and I think that we're going to get some answers, but we're not going to get all of the answers.
I'll settle for some.
We're going to get some, but not all. And then the storyline will keep rolling. And it has to be generational. This whole being able to, because we saw in 1814, it was happening then. And there is that notebook. I mean, that almanac that they open and people keep seeing Sophia and all that. It's not just Colton's immediate family. And well, even if it is, I'm sure he had brothers and sisters and cousins through the generations. So those could be all the other names. Maybe that's stories to come. Maybe that's something that they will touch on in the next season. Yeah. They need to save some, Christine's saying, for season 2. Yes. And a 3-hour movie, Kay said she would love it. Okay. Before I forget, what time is it? It's what time?
8:54 your time.
Okay. So at 8:57, I want you, if you think you know what this answer is, at 8:50. No, I'm sorry, 57. So 8:57 by me, 57 after the hour, wherever you are. What is this? And you could put it in the chat box. Okay. And this was from the show. It's actually a clip. And whoever wins will put your name up again. All right. All righty. So I'm going to take it down. I'm going to leave it up for just like a few more seconds. Margie's saying they have to keep us hungry or no one will come back. This is true. Elliot dancing at the Y2K party was hilarious, and Kat seemed manic at the party too. She was, and then she
It
had
was
a
panic
panic
attack.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the whole kiss, they didn't kiss, they're going to kiss. He's going to wait for that kiss. I don't know. Did you see the previews where she wants to say something to him and he's like, quiet, I know. What time did I say? 57, right?
Yep.
All right, let me remove it. All right, Miss Kathy, have anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. It's just they keep sucking me in deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I just can't wait until the episode 10. And I kind of don't want to see episode 10 because you get your hopes up and you build it up and then you might get disappointed. But she said the jaw will drop, so I'm expecting my jaw to drop.
And I asked that of all of our guests that we have on. By the way, next week, we might have more than one, depending upon if anybody else, can figure out their schedule. But we will have Monica on. She'll be coming.
Everybody be nice.
Yes. That just means she plays her part well.
Really well.
Yeah. All right. Who's the first?
At 57 after the hour, it is Christina.
Let me see.
Lohman.
Oh, it is Christina Lohman. All right, Miss Christina, I'm putting you in. Good job. All right. So we have all of our names in, and then at the end we will raffle. I'm going to ask Maria about like if there's some kind of merchandise they're going to have somewhere. That would be cool if we could get some official merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Official being the operative word, because unofficial merchandise is another thing they'll get the page shut down. So.
Oh no, just official.
No homemade stuff, please.
No. No, official. I wanted to ask. Okay, so we are about ready to wrap this up, and it's been a night. It's been a good night.
I know. Is Sunday here yet? Never have I been this excited for Sunday.
Wish our life away. We were thinking of doing a 1999 something, right?
Yeah, we were thinking that it would be, and whose idea? It was Brian's idea. Well, Brian brought this up, and we thought we came up with this idea on top of it, of posting photos of ourselves from 1999 on the page. So if anybody wants to participate in that, one of us will start the thread, and then if anybody wants to participate, I think it'd be a lot of fun. That way, if we do take a road trip and we accidentally end up in the pond, we'll be able to recognize each other.
That's right. Well, no. Yes, someone had said there was somebody with the blue sunglasses, and they were at the carnival. I think there's a lot of weird things at the carnival, like the young man and woman at the House of Mirrors that people were just running through. And here it is. Someone mentioned the person in the blue sunglasses at the carnival. Does anyone else think the man wearing them looked like a veterinarian? I forgot his name. Andy? I don't know. I think Andy was just there. Your face says it all.
Who?
You're like, Andy. Andy? Oh, I just looked at my face. It was spooky. Oh, my goodness. All right. This has been a blast. Thank you for tuning in. The blue glasses, I don't know. There are so many clues. You know what's going to happen in retrospect? We're going to go like hindsight or whatever. We're going to go back and we're going to say, and that was this, and that meant nothing, and that meant this, like
I think it'd be hysterical if all the blue is actually a red herring. It means nothing.
It probably means nothing. You're correct. Oh, goodness gracious, bodacious. All right. Thank you for tuning in.
We will see you next week with, tell me her real name again.
Samara.
Laura. Yeah.
Yes. Can't wait. All right.
All righty.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
See you on the page.
Yeah.